Okay. Am I audible to you guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll finish up the session a little quickly today. I've got to go elsewhere. Anyway, we've discussed everything. We just have got the worksheet to discuss, right? So you have those words on the screen, right? So what we're going to do is the syllabification thing initially. So just take a look at it, go through each of them and make a note of how many syllables each of them have, and then we'll discuss it. Okay. So begin with magnificent until where you can see. I'll actually scroll up a little bit so that you can see more words. Yeah, until scrupulous. Please make a note of how many syllables each of them will have, and then we'll discuss. Okay. Okay. Have you been able to decide upon the syllables? This is an easy exercise. It doesn't take too much time, right? Okay. How many in magnificent?
Four.
Hmm. And magnificent, right? Four of them, four syllables. So basically, just to quickly tell you, what we're doing is looking at the total number of vowel sounds in a given word, right? That's all. So magnificent has four and hence four syllables. Automobile, automobile,
Four.
Four.
automobile. Yeah, correct. So four again, right? Drastic, drastic.
Two.
Two, right? Two. Factory, factory, factory.
Three.
Three. Factory has three. A lot of people would end up saying it has two because in the Indian English we say factory, right? So the actual way, if you look up the dictionary, it is factory, right? So there's this schwa in between the t and the r sound there. Um, in the American pronunciation, there's a tendency to sort of absorb that schwa while you say it, while you say the word itself. Even in the British pronunciation, which is I say American and British pronunciation because these are the more popular accents around the world, right? In English. And these countries predominantly use English, of course, along with New Zealand and Australia and Canada and other areas. But these are more received. So in the British pronunciation, it is enunciated. So we do consider that syllable as well. In the American, if you look at Google's transcription of the word, you'll see the schwa in a bracket, and that's because the Americans do not very prominently enunciate that schwa in factory. but in British we do, right? So either way, whether you say two or three, it should be okay, right? Because we are mostly tuned to the British ways we do that, but it's absolutely not a problem. Even if you say factory has to, it's fine, right? It should go, shouldn't be a problem. But I said this because if you look up an Oxford dictionary or the more well-received dictionaries, it might show you three syllables, which is why, right? It's important to make this distinction here. But two or three, both goes fine. Okay. Anyway, even in British pronunciation in spontaneous speech, when you're using it in spontaneous speech in a conversation with people, um, it's not a syllable that's very audible, right? Which is why I think two or three both goes. Okay, audible. Next one, audible.
3.
Three. Okay, Manchester.
3,
3.
Three again. Correct. India. India.
2.
India.
3,
India has three. Okay, same thing again. India, not India. India. Again, spontaneous speech, you might only see two. The two is also okay in that sense, right? But more popularly, or if you're going to look it up in a phonetic transcription, then it's going to show you three syllables, right? India. But two works as well, okay? Pandemic. Pandemic.
3.
3,
Yeah. Pandemic. Three. Correct. Traveler. Traveler.
3,
3.
Three again. A lot of people would say traveler, right? This is also very common, accepted sort of a pronunciation. But then, for refinement, for people who are looking for accent neutralization, I think it's important to know what and how many syllables do each of them carry. Okay, that's not a necessary thing, but it's only for people who are looking for accent refinement, right? So traveler in your dictionaries will show up as three syllabled word, but otherwise traveler is also quite fine. It's also a well received way of pronouncing the word. Okay, medical, medical,
3.
3,
three again, right? Three. Fate,
1,
fate,
2.
fate has one. Fate has one. Why two? Only one, right? Fate. This is one a diphthong sound in it. Fate. Okay, career,
2,
career,
2. 2.
career. Go again. Look at it again. So yeah, two is acceptable, but how about career? It is three. Okay, career. E and that's the two separate. So again, this is a case where two or three could be a suitable way of answering, right? Falsification,
5.
five, right? It's polysyllabic, five, correct. Trigonometry,
4,
trigonometry,
4.
trigonometry, five.
yes, sorry, I pronounce it trigonometry. Sorry,
Yes,
metry.
trigonometry. Yeah, trigonometry. Yeah, it has five. Okay, binomial. Binomial. This is also something
3.
that
4,
Three.
binomial.
then 4.
Then four binomial. So see, you're going to see these kind of variations, and I use the word variations with a lot of caution because again, when we're talking about one or two possibilities. Being acceptable, we are talking about the two different varieties of a language available, which also tells us that it's not a constant thing everywhere in the world. People are not going to speak or talk or use the language exactly the same way as you're going to see it in a certain region or in a certain social context, right? So, unless it really affects the way you understand the word, if it really hinders the way you understand the word, most of the pronunciation works, right? So, it's all right. It's a speech, it's a person to person thing sometimes also. So popularly binomial, some people might add it as a three syllable word, but otherwise it's also four syllabic.
But in exam, which one we will tick?
Mm, if it is not uh, very distinctly audible, right? If the syllable is not very distinctly audible, then you can go ahead and reduce them. You don't have to add to it, right? So for binomial, it will be four. Okay. Usually, you do not get such
Okay.
words in the exam. right? We ensure that you don't
Okay.
get into that kind of troubles. If there's any, of course, that will be managed at the end, right? We think there is any discrepancy like that. Okay. Collusion. Collusion.
3,
3,
3. Yeah. Contest.
2,
2,
Contest. 2. Improve.
3,
3,
Improve.
Two.
2. Improve has 2. Improve. Yesterday. Yesterday.
3,
Three.
3.
3,
Right? Yeah. Scrupulous. Scrupulous.
3,
Three.
Scrupulous. Yeah, correct. It has again 3. Okay. Oh, that's all. Nice. Good. Okay. So now next question is on stress marking. We had uh, we had an a full length discussion on stress patterns in English for the last 2 weeks. Actually, 2 classes we did have talk on how stress is marked in English. Some rules we did mention, and particularly the ones associated with the suffix in a word, right? They're more important because they're the ones which can cause change in the stress pattern. So we'll have a bunch of words here, or there are words that could take up, I think, most of the rules that we've discussed. So we'll begin looking at them, right? So duration. Please be careful of the suffixes in each of the word, right? Duration. Just tell me the syllable where you think the stress falls.
3.
Re,
Sorry.
Ah,
Re,
Ray, right? So because you have the shin suffix and penultimate syllable is what is going to get the stress in such case, right? If you have a shin um, suffix. Okay, legal. Legal. Also, please be a little mindful of the word class, right? So we're also marking based on the word class of the given word as well. So see if it is an adjective or if it's a noun or adverb. Look at that category as well. If it has a suffix, then concentrate on the suffix part. If it is an absent thing in the word, if there's no suffix, no prefix mentioned, then maybe the best way to look at it would be to look at the word class category, right? So legal.
Li,
Yeah, so which means the first syllable, right? So why legal is what it is an adjective.
H,
It's an adjective, right? Yeah. And it's a disyllabic adjective, which of course gets its stress on the first syllable. Wealthy, wealthy. Wealthy.
well,
Wealthy is what? If you are, like I told you, if you do not see any uh, suffix, then you need to look at the word class. But is this the one without a suffix? Does wealthy have a suffix or not? Shouldn't be a difficult question to answer. Wealthy has a suffix, right? It's well then wealthy. So it has a Y suffix. What did we look at? If this Y suffix at the end, then how does the stress work?
the first syllable is stressed.
Hmm. Okay, first syllable is stressed, right? Uh, any change in the answers? So what is wealthy then? Wealthy is basically adjective, right? It's an adjective. So well, the disyllabic adjective obviously gets marked on the first syllable. Okay. Then comes recommendation. Recommendation.
Mend,
Recommendation. Look at it carefully again.
depart,
Day, right? That is a penultimate. It has to be on the penultimate. Okay. We are actually running a little short of time. I'll go a little fast. Um, imagine, imagine, imagine as what? Word class for imagine.
it's a word class.
What's the word class for imagine?
Adjective,
Imagine. Imagine is a verb, right? Imagine is a verb to imagine something, right? Okay. Verbs usually marked on which syllable? Second syllable mostly. So it has to
Second.
be, yeah, right? Imagine. Second one. Okay. Next one, confidence.
Fee.
Confidence. Why on fee?
Ends is a suffix.
Confidence has a suffix. Oh, okay. Which category of word it is, though? Let's look at that. It's not a very clear cut suffix pattern, but confidence is what? Adjective, verb, noun. What is it? It's a noun. Yeah. It's a trisyllabic noun, so has to be marked on the first syllable, right? First syllable, confidence. Okay. What category of noun is it, though? I think we are revising the first or the second module where you have parts of speech. Abstract. Okay. Do not, I think you need some revision. Please take a look at that, particularly for this exercise of the, identification of the stress pattern. You need to have many things in mind. You also need to be aware of the syllabification. You also need to know the parts of speech, the word class to identify the word class, and you should also, of course, know the stress words, right? So take a look at that carefully, right? Maybe also look at the types and kinds of nouns and adjectives and all that probably would have been taught to you in the second module. If I'm second and third, I guess, right? It runs over a few modules, the first part. Okay. Resolute. No, no, we didn't do certain, right? Certain? Certain?
The
This is again what? What is this again? Certain is what? You can use it in a phrase or, use in a sentence quickly in your mind to understand what it is, right? Certainly is an adverb. What is certain? It's an adjective again. Okay, please, you need to look at them in that way. And certain is again what? It has two syllables, right? Certain. The and then the second schwa. So again, it's a disyllabic adjective, which is certainly going to be marked on with syllable. Where is the stress for this disyllabic adjective?
the first part.
Yeah,
So,
the first syllable, right? The first syllable. Cert, the first one, first syllable. Okay. Then goes the resolution. This should be easy. Resolution,
Liu.
low, correct. Amount, amount. Disyllabic noun, amount.
Uh,
Uh, but will it be a? That's the question. Amount. By rule, it should be a, but will it be the first syllable? And if it is not, then what is the reason? What's the first sound here? It's a schwa sound, right? It's an unstressed sound, so it cannot take stress on it. Obviously, so you'll there's no other way but then you to move the stress or to take the stress on the second syllable, right? Although it's a disyllabic noun, and by rule it should have it on the first syllable. The stress must be marked on the first syllable, but then because you have a schwa, and given schwa is an unstressed syllable, you cannot get it marked on the first syllable, and hence you move it to the second, right? We move it in the sense that is how it works in the language, right? So the stress is taken on by the second syllable, which is mount. So amount, right? Stress is on the second syllable for the reasons I mentioned. Okay, next one. Next word is monthly. Monthly is an adverb, has an ly suffix. Stress is on
ma.
month. Okay, not month. That's your first syllable. Month in lean. So month is the syllable that takes the stress because two reasons. One is an adverb. Second, it has an ly suffix, and usually words with an ly suffix takes the stress on the first, right? Repetition, repetition,
Te.
right? Repetition takes it on the penultimate syllable because it has a shin suffix in this. Okay. Witness, witness, witness. This is not, ness is not a suffix here. Okay. This is that is wittiness. Okay. This is witness. What is this? This is a noun. Okay.
Wit. We.
Wait, the first part, right? It's a disyllabic noun, of course, on the first syllable. Okay. Then comes excellent. Excellent. Excellent is what it is
Yeah.
again, an adjective, right? Excellent. So on the first syllable, right? Excellent. That also gets marked on the first syllable. Correct. Civilization or civilization has various pronunciations. So whatever it is, I'll go by civilization because that's what we commonly use in our context and the variety that we use. So civilization,
Sir.
Z- not see your. I see this error continuously now. Do not say or the. You're talking about the syllable, so you have to use the entire syllable, not just the first sound of the syllable that gets marked, right? If you're asked a question which syllable, then it has to be z, not sir. Okay, that's just the sound, the first sound. So z is your syllable. Okay, and the answer is right because it has a shin suffix. Okay. Then exploit, exploit, exploit. Anything special with this word exploit? What is the category of the word? Exploit.
Verb.
It's a verb. Yeah, it's a verb. That's right. And then can it be also used as a noun by any chance?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can it be used? Can you give me an example? Can we use exploit as a noun? If yes, example. No, haven't come across its use as a noun. So you're right. It can be used as no, not exploitation. That's a you've added a suffix to it. I mean, we're talking about using the word exploit itself as a noun, right? Uh, so yes, we can use it as a noun, but I'm looking at an example, maybe a sentence example, um, where
Um.
exploit becomes a noun. Okay, just make a note of this and look it up. Okay, so I don't want to give you anything, no spoon feeding, but it is a noun and see how you can use this in a sentence, right? So when you use it as a noun, it basically means, a brave or a daring act, exploit, or a notable deed. That's the meaning that it can undertake. You can look up any good dictionary online. It shouldn't matter which one you're looking at it, or if you have an offline, a hard copy, then well and good. Take a look and see how it is used. Okay. So anyway, this is a word which can be used both as a noun and a verb, right? So there's also something called functional stress, right? There are words in the English language which can function both as a verb and a noun. And when it functions as a verb, of course, we know that in a verb, the stress is always on which syllable? The second syllable, right? Disyllabic verb, I mean. So this the stress is on the second syllable, and hence, if the word exploit is used as a noun in a sentence, then it is going to be marked on the second syllable. So exploit, right?
But if it's used as a noun, then it's going to be exploit. Okay. This is called functional stress, right? Based on what kind of function the given word performs in a sentence. Certain words which can act both as nouns and verbs may have a change in the pattern of the stress in the word itself. Okay, so exploit. Okay. Um, Next one we do have is transportation. Transportation.
The
Transportation. No, I am not going to take this answer. You tell me ter and per and sir, this is going to be wrong. I think just 5 minutes ago I told you that's not how you say it. What's the syllable here? Where
Per.
is it
Te.
marked? Te.
Te.
Right. Te is the syllable. Okay, not ter. Ter is just the first sound of the syllable complex.
And the
Te.
suffix here is
Shin.
tation or shun.
Shin. Shin. Oh, it
Okay.
has two, but then that is the you have uh, the one that affects the stress pattern is the shin. Okay.
Okay, all right.
And the one before it is not a suffix as such. Okay. Right. So te, that's right. And then factorial. Yeah.
To.
Factorial. So which what is the suffix here? Factorial.
Suffix is el.
El.
EL. Okay. Okay. Yeah. And EL, what did we see? It has to be on the penultimate, right? Last class that
Yes.
we discussed. So let's see, factorial works like that. So factor is the word that you have, and the stress uh, is on the second syllable, of course, and then that gets retained in this one anyway. So factorial. Okay, even in the original one, you will say it on the second one. So in that sense, there's no much of a change. But given the suffix, you can have. Thank you. Given the suffix here, it's a D suffix and then, or the I suffix as you wish to call it, then by rule gets marked on the penultimate syllable. That's right. Okay. So next is analogy. Analogy. Yes.
Le.
Analogy. So yeah, uh, just a second. Huh. Huh. Where is it? Sorry, did not hear you clearly.
Le.
Analogy is not on la because see this laji is your suffix here, right? So it has to be uh, on the word that on the syllable that goes before it. So it's on the second one, na. Okay, I think this word we discussed while we were talking about stress pattern on laji. I think this is the example we chose in the last class. It's on na. Okay, analogy. Okay, so it's a laji is your suffix, and in such a case, you'll gets marked on the uh, penultimate syllable, the syllable right before the one carrying the suffix. Yeah. Family, family.
Me.
Why on me? Family.
It should be
What
on
is the word
fa.
class? On fa only, right? The first syllable. It's a trisyllabic noun. So first syllable. Okay. Ashamed. Ashamed.
She.
Shamed. Okay. Ashamed is what? This is word category.
It's a verb.
It's not a verb. Uh, it has the ed suffix, but how do you use it as? Yeah, it can be a verb as well. Not wrong to say that, but uh,
It can be adjective.
can it be an adjective? Yes, we have ed adjectives. We have ing adjectives. So yes, it can be used as an adjective. Okay, so the it can be used both as a when you have an inflection. Of course, you can change it, but then it's used as an adjective, right? Ashamed. I'm ashamed of him. So this is an adjective I use, not a verb. Okay. So, fine. So if it is an adjective, then where is it going to be marked in stress pattern? Ashamed. First one, can you mark? You cannot because it's a schwa again, right? So it's an unstressed sound. So it cannot take that syllable, cannot take any stress on it. So it's on the second one. Shame. Okay. All right. Right. So ashamed is done adjective and on the second syllable. Okay. Resign. Resign.
Sigh.
Sign. Right. The second syllable because a verb. It's a disyllabic verb. So second. Suddenly and seriously, we both of them together because they both have the same nature. Same word class. Suddenly, seriously. Both has
The.
ly suffix. Both has
The.
ly suffix. Why the? Both has ly suffix. First syllable. Ly suffix, then automatically the stress has to be on the first syllable. Okay. Unless, of course, it's it has some history of derivation, as something else interfering in it. Otherwise, most of the ly suffixes they take on the first syllable. Suddenly, seriously, both on the first one. Advise. So, who are again or where does it take?
First syllable.
First syllable. Okay. So
First.
advisor. Okay. Now I need to check because these are all derivative words. So advisor, one needs to see if there is any retention of stress because of changing classes from noun to verb or verb to noun or any that kind of movement. So advisor is also a case like that. What is it? It has derived from the verb advise, right? And verbs are marked on which syllable? Advise
Second.
disyllabic. Second one, right? So in the case of advisor, again, the stress is on the second syllable for this reason. Because I think last time I told you if you have a verb, usually it has more weight than anything else. So the stress on the word advise is on the second syllable, and you add or as a suffix. They usually do take it on the first syllable, but in this case, because you have a word like this, which already has a stress on the second syllable because of it originally being a verb, you retain that stress, right? So advisor. So in this one, you're going to um, have your stress on the second syllable, wise. Okay. In the case of verbs, please be a little careful, right? Because they follow a little different stress pattern when compared to the nouns and adjectives and adverbs. So if you have a derivative which has come from the verb, please check before you mark your stress. Okay. Okay. Subset. Subset.
Sub. Sub.
Sub. Sub. Right. Noun. So of course, disyllabic noun first one. Now I'm going to. How much time do we have? No, no, we are only doing it up to this one. So I think we can continue with the rest of it. Okay, invasion. Invasion.
Way.
Way. Right? Invasion is to be on way. Insect. Insect.
Sit.
Why? Why it
In
has to be on set? In, right? It's a noun.
it's a noun.
Disyllabic noun. So yeah, insect. Exhibition. Exhibition.
B.
B.
Exhibition.
Yeah,
B.
yeah.
B.
Exhibition. Yeah. So B. Yeah. Because of the suffix. Uplift. Uplift. So this is a verb which has a prefix.
Perfect.
Uplift. So the original verb is just lift, and of course the stress is on the first syllable because that's the only syllable available. Now prefixes usually do not bring about much of a change to your stress pattern, right? So the stress is going to be retained on lift itself. So uplift, right? It's going to be on the second syllable itself. Uplift. Uplift, the second syllable. In the given word, it looks like it's on the second syllable, but because up is a prefix, we know that. So, and they do not usually bring about a change. The examples we looked at, I think, was dislike and uh, misbelieve or something of that sort. Mm. So it follows the same pattern. uplift on the second one. Okay. Now comprehension. Comprehension.
है
Yeah, and the penultimate hand, right? Affect. Affect is again a verb. Affect, and can also be a noun. But affect, where is it going to be marked? Affect.
फ फे
Affect. Okay. So ideally, affect has I mean, not ideally. In the word, it has how many syllables? Affect, right? Two of them. And the first one is going to be, of course, the schwa. So it cannot take the stress. Hence, it goes to the second syllable. That's also one of the reason, not just that it's a verb. So affect has it on the second syllable. And then what is the next one? Issue. Issue. Issue again, what is it? It is, it can be a noun, it can be a verb.
It may be a verb also, yes.
Yeah, but this is not something that is going to change the. See, there are a set of words which can act as a noun and verb, but then not all of them are going to follow the rule that we mentioned, the functional stress rule, right? Wherein the verb gets marked on the second one and the noun gets marked on the first one. Because the reason I have already explained, I think, the very first class, not every word is going to belong to that because there are several processes through which word formation happens in a language, and it entirely depends on what factors have affected it to, you need to know that to determine how the stress pattern works also. So issue is a case where the stress really doesn't change in both the forms. So whether it's used as a noun or a verb, you're going to have the same stress pattern. So, and that is the first syllable. Okay, issue, right? Issue as a verb or a noun is going to have its stress on the first syllable. Issue. Okay. Observation. Observation.
वे
Way.
Way. Yeah. Way. Discover. Discover.
On the first syllable, day.
Discover. Discover is what? It's a, oh, sorry, one second. Yeah, it's a
Dis-
verb, right? Discover, to discover something. So, um, uh, it has three syllables, discover. And where do you mark it? On the second syllable, right? So, because that's how it has. And this also has a case of a prefix. So, we're going to mark it on the second syllable, like how we do in the case of verbs. Verbs largely are marked on the second syllable, right? So, here again, the second syllable gets the stress. Then comes improvement. Improvement.
व
So here you have the ment suffix, right? So you don't have to bother because we discussed that it is a neutral suffix. So that is not going to bring about any change in the stress. But you should know how stress is marked on improve. If you know how it is marked on improve, then your stress marking is done, right? Where is it marked in improve? It's a verb, second syllable, right?
It's a second
So,
syllable. Prove.
yeah. So prove. So again, since meant does not bring about any change, it's going to be retained on the second syllable. Assign. Next one is assign.
जाई
Yeah, sign. The
It's
second one
again is a verb.
again is a verb, and also that it has a schwa. So it has to be obviously on the second. Voluntary. 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 The ARY, right? Voluntary. Uh, First one, first syllable, right? To be marked on the first syllable. Then, yeah, how about volunteer? Volunteer,
टीयर
tier, right? It's like engineer. So on the last one, volunteer. Okay, paradox. Paradox. Paradox is what? It's a noun,
पै
trisyllabic noun. The first syllable, right? First one is where it's going to be. Because the trisyllabic nouns. First syllable is where it's. Okay, the last one there is going to be priority. Priority. Prior and it. So penultimate syllable, right? It, you have an I suffix there. So on pri is your first syllable. What follows it is or,
Or
right? That is the one. Or is the one which is going to get the um, stress, the second syllable. Okay. Or rather the syllable right before the suffix. Okay. All right. Quickly to the third one. I am a little late for the thing. We'll take a look at it quickly. Aspiration, right? So aspiration, you know how it works. In English, you only have um, three possibilities. So you have the voiceless stops per, t, and k, right? These are the only three which can, or these are the only three which manifests or articulates an aspiration in the English speech. Right? And there are two conditions for it. First condition is that the voiceless stops per, t, k um, should be available in a stressed syllable. They get aspirated only if it is a part of a stressed syllable. So the syllable has to be stressed first of all. And the second condition is that uh, these sounds must be the first sounds of this stressed syllable, right? So only if these two conditions are satisfied, then you can have these three to be stressed in a given word, right? So first thing that it needs to be a part of the stress syllable. Second condition, it also has to be the first sound of the stress syllable. Right? Very simple, just two simple conditions. And anyway, it is only applicable to three sounds, yeah? So we don't have to bother too much with what happens with the other sounds. Only the three voiceless stops per turker would have this quality of aspiration in the English speech, right? Largely. Okay, so you're only going to identify the words which have an aspirated stop sound. So each of the word, it may have one of the three. Some may have ka or some may have ta or pa. We're just going to see whether in the given word, the whichever the sound is pa, ta or ka, whether they're aspirated or not, right? So skill is ka aspirated here. Skill. Yes, no,
no, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
no. Okay, it's not aspirated. I hope you know the reasons, right? So people who do not know, you must ask. Otherwise, I'm just going to assume you know. Skill doesn't have an aspiration. I mean, the third in this word doesn't have an aspiration. Not aspirated. Kill, kill. Is it
Is
aspirated
It
here?
has. Yes,
It
it
is
is
ma'am.
as
aspirated. Here it is aspirated. Yeah, here it has an aspiration. How about pill? Pill.
it is aspirated.
It is aspirated. Yeah, again, this is aspirated. Speak, speak.
It's not
No.
aspirated.
Not aspirated. Okay. Straps.
It's not aspirated.
Not aspirated again, right? Ticket, ticket,
It's aspirated.
it is aspirated, right? So we'll do one or two more examples. I don't wish to take all of them now. Because as long as you understand this rule, I mean, the same rule applies to everything, right? Doing 50 problems on that doesn't make, I mean, we don't have to do that. Testify, testify. Now, this one has it has multiple syllables. All this while I think you're looking only at, monosyllabic words. So testify.
It's aspirated.
Okay, so which syllable is stressed in this word? Testify.
T.
T.
See,
Testify.
and
T.
is the first syllable of the stressed syllable. So of course it aspirated, right? How about photography?
No, ma'am.
Photography.
It's not aspirated.
It's not aspirated.
A photography doesn't have aspirated. So which syllable is stressed in photography?
Graphy.
Photography. Okay. Photography. Graphy is the one that is stressed. Okay. Is that right?
No, ma'am.
No.
Toe is stressed.
So is the one that is stressed, right? And it
Yes, ma'am.
happens to be the first sound of the stress syllable. So it is aspirated in this case, photography. right? How about, so you can see this example and maybe a change in this in the case of photographic. How about photographic? It's aspirated in this case. Is it a part of a stressed syllable in photographic? No, because in photographic, graph is the one that is stressed, right? Photographic. So in this case, st is
Yes.
not, because it's not a part of the stress syllable. Okay. All right. We'll do 3 more. Tractor. Tractor. Oh,
Yes, ma'am.
we'll keep. Yeah. Here also it is. Yeah. Inspire. Inspire.
No, ma'am.
No. Right. No, because it's not a part of the. It's not the first sound of the stress syllable. Time. Time.
Yes, ma'am.
Aspirated.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So this concept's clear for you, right? How aspiration works. You can do any number of examples you want, any number of practice questions you want to do. But it's all going to be the same as long as you understand the, uh, conditions required for the stops to be aspirated, you should be fine, no matter what the word is or no matter how many syllables you have. Of course, you should be able to also identify the syllable with the stress, right? That's when you have more than words that have more than one syllable in them, that part becomes very important. Identification of the stress pattern becomes important, particularly in words which have more than one syllable. Um, that's all. As long as that's possible, it shouldn't be a problem. Okay.
The condition is it should be the
Hmm.
stress syllables first sound, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Or, rather, it's better to look at it as two conditions. First, that it has to be uh, a part of the stress syllable. Second, that it should also be the first sound of the stress syllable. So both stress as well as the positioning of the sound in the stress syllable is important. Okay. All right. So I think we can officially close for the semester with the class. Anyway, you have your exams next week. I try to cover as much as possible with the topics I thought would be a little difficult for you to, manage. They're all easy. You just need to pay a bit more attention. Do a few questions as practice questions before you go. I think the whatever repository you have as practice questions, that should be more than enough. But if you're more curious, if you would like to do more, of course, you're welcome to do more also. There's nobody's stopping you from doing that as well. So I think that's all. That's all from my side. If you have got any questions, you may ask. If not, we'll wind up. Um, and all the best for your exams.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, sure. If you have no questions, you may please leave the meeting. You don't have to.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, it was an amazing classes, like sessions here.
Oh, thank you so much, Abhay, for your kind words.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Actually, the way you teach is I liked it. That's why.
Uh, Thank you so much for that feedback. I will try and strive and see if that can continue in the upcoming semesters as well. See you again. And you were also quite participatory. You have attended other classes, and we are happy that you have been able to make some use of this. Okay. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. See you again. All the best for your exams.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sure. See you all.